From parts 1 through 6, Jolyne Cujoh is the best written character. No character in the franchise prior to Jolyne has had better character development than her. Throughout the series, we've had many character development arcs for side characters like Polnareff, Caesar, and many other characters. We had development for characters like Jotaro, Joseph, and Dio that have taken place over several parts. All these characters are great, but they pale in comparison to Jolyne. If I were to summarize Jolyne's character in one phrase, it'd be overcoming adversity. Welcome to today's video, where I'll be telling you why Jolyne is the best written character in the main universe, and how she blows other characters and protagonists out of the water. Before we do, if you are new to the channel, welcome. Here we cover all sorts of dope JoJo content, so definitely subscribe and join the channel, and join the community that we're building. Comment your favorite part in JoJo character in the comment section. With that being said, let us begin. For starters, let's take a look at Jolyne's character. At the beginning of Stone Ocean, specifically, what kind of person was she? When we are first introduced to Jolyne, through her conversation with her lawyer, we could just tell she's a troubled kid who got into a lot of trouble growing up in order to get her father's attention. Jolyne's daddy issues was a huge part of her character for a portion of Stone Ocean, as we saw how much Jotaro not being in her life affected her. Whenever he was brought up, she'd act all annoyed and bitter, claiming she doesn't want to see him, and she'd also bring up how he was never really there for her. This of course changes later on as she uses her urge to save Jotaro as a crutch to get her through hard times while in prison. But before we get into that, let's talk about her earlier experiences in jail. In the beginning, we see how easily Jolyne gets bullied and manipulated by other inmates like Wes and Blonde Bully. As Jolyne stays in prison and defeats these bullies and antagonists, she slowly learns the ins and outs of prison and how it works. Specifically, how in there is kill or be killed. As if she didn't assert her dominance, she'd be dead in there. She learns how to stand up and adapt to the system by not letting her be taken advantage of and figuring out how to work around it. Now this development is good, but her real development begins when she meets Jotaro. After Jotaro loses both his stand and memory disc trying to save Jolyne, Jolyne starts to slowly change. She goes from having her prove her innocence as a priority to changing it to saving her father. And as stated earlier, she uses this as fuel to get her through some very tough moments. Halfway through the series, when Jolyne is placed in solitary confinement, Jolyne's determination in that scene was so powerful. The way she tells herself that she refuses to waver in here because if she does, it'll wear down her mental fortitude and physical strength is nothing short of inspirational. As many of you know, the sole purpose of solitary confinement is to crush a person's spirit. You have no human contact or connection. It's literally just you isolated all alone. For many, this can obviously lead to severe mental effects such as anxiety, depression, and in many cases, suicidal thoughts. Despite this, Jolyne refused to waver and stay strong. This eventually led to her escape. Another reason why this development is so good is because how selfless Jolyne becomes over the course of Stone Ocean. Jolyne gets the help of Foo Fighters, Hermes, Anasui, Emporio, and Weather, all because she wants to save Jotaro. Over the course of Stone Ocean, her goal shifts from it being about her to helping others. After she gets Jotaro's disc, her next goal is to stop Pucci, when she ends up risking her life and dying for the point of stopping him, something I highly doubt she'd even consider at the beginning of her sentence in jail, as she wouldn't have been the right person. If you made it all the way to this part of the video and you are down in Jolyne's development, let's briefly examine our other JoJo protagonists. Jonathan. This is the first JoJo and the one everyone takes after. While Jonathan did face a similar journey like Jolyne, as he did grow to become the man that would defeat Dio, Jonathan wasn't too removed from the ideal gentleman at all, as his father went out of his way to raise him to be that way. We saw even as a kid how he carried himself and how he protected others. His development was still good, but the jump his character made wasn't as huge as Jolyne's. Joseph. His character development was pretty good as we saw him go from this charismatic jokester, Joseph, who became a man more responsible, honorable, as he continued to battle with the Pillar Man. We then see him take this mentor role in Stardust Crusader, which was also fun to watch. Joseph's developments are dope, but I feel like Araki used him more so to say you can still have the qualities of a JoJo, which is kind-hearted, determined, lucky, and driven, while also being your own person. Which in Joseph's case, he's a liar, a cheater, and a funny dude. Jotaro's character development is really interesting because if you take part 3 Jotaro alone, Jotaro is just the same person from start to finish. And for many people that may be boring and all, but as you read through parts 4 and 6, you come to understand that Jotaro does have his own way of showing he cares. But yeah, as we see Jotaro in parts 4, he becomes way more vocal compared to part 3, which makes sense given that he's older and he's grew out of that delinquent phase. He also takes up this mentor role towards Josuke and the others. In part 6, we see a different side of him as he takes up that father role. Part 4, Josuke and Giorno are characters that stay the same the entire part. Josuke part 4 is more so exposed to situations where he can bring out his Joestar qualities he had with him, but he doesn't undergo a character arc in part 4. And the same applies to Giorno, who damn near comes off as perfect. Giorno is already so great that he actually elevates the rest of Passione through his presence. While these protagonists from parts 1 to 5 have been enjoyed by us and they may have changed a bit over the course, their character arcs aren't anything special compared to Jolyne, who is a completely different person at the end of her part. Well, anyways, this was a pretty short video. That marks the end of this video. I just want to get this out of the way. I understand Stone Ocean isn't the most popular JoJo part, but I have a special place for it in my heart because I really enjoyed it. So I decided to make a video about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, drop a like if you enjoyed it. Comment what you think and subscribe for more awesome JoJo content. I purposely left out parts 7 and 8. I mean, those parts are actually my favorite parts in JoJo, but I feel like it wouldn't be I feel like it wouldn't be fair to compare those two parts to the original universe. So maybe I'll make another video for that at a different time. But anyways, till next time.